Hi, fourth graders. So we're going to be reading chapter 1 of Caleb's story today. As we know, Caleb's story is about how he's filling up some sort of journal. So the first page here says, Anna has done something terrible. She's given me a journal to fill. She wants me to write about the farm while she's gone finishing school and working in town. In Anna's journal, the words walk across the page like birds print in the mud. But it's hard for me. It's hard to find things to write about. Not much happens here, I told Anna. Chores, schoolwork, and more chores. Anna tells me I'll find something to write. Things to write about are all around you, she says. I don't think so. There's only the cold, the skies as gray as goose feathers, and the wind. Always the wind. Caleb's writing. Chapter 1. Come find me, Caleb, called my little sister Cassie. She ran out the door and down the steps. Lottie barked and followed her. Nick was older than Lottie. He stayed on the porch and watched. I don't have time, I mean it, Cassie. Cassie ignored me the way she always did when she wanted something. And don't look, she called. I sighed and walked her way. I covered my eyes with my hand, but through my fingers I could see Cassie run to the barn. 1, 2, 3, I counted. Slower, she cried. 4, 5, 5.5. Papa was hitching Bess to the wagon. Don't be long, he said. Anna's almost ready to leave. Don't worry, this won't take long, Papa. I don't know, Caleb. Cassie's getting better at hiding. I laughed. At least you don't see her feet sticking out anymore. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I called. I could hear Cassie laughing, but I couldn't see her. I walked into the barn. It was cool and dark and quiet. A winter-sharp smell filled the space. Cassie? There was no answer. There was a time when Cassie would answer me and give away her hiding place. She couldn't help it, but not today. May, my favorite of all our horses, was in her stall. I reached over and touched her nose, and she nickered at me. I could see her breath in the cold air. There was silence, only the sound of May's breathing. Then I heard Lottie's bark outside and Cassie's voice. Cassie, I hear you. I turned. Cassie tried to run by the barn door, and I rushed out and caught her, making her squeal. I've got you, pal. Cassie laughed, and we began to walk back to the house, Lottie leaping and jumping in front of us. Cassie reached up and took my hand, her face suddenly serious. There's a man. What man? Behind the barn, said Cassie. He's wrapped in a green blanket, and he asked me about Papa. I smiled. You and your imaginary friends, Cassie. She scowled at me. There's a man, she insisted. You're stubborn, I told her. Like Sarah. Like Mama, Cassie corrected me. You could call her Mama.
I don't know that.
I could, I said, but you know the story, Cassie. When she first sees her here, Anna and I called her Sarah. We'll always call her Sarah. I will call her Mama, said Cassie. I picked her up. She was so light, and Cassie put her head on my shoulder as we walked to the house. A man, she whispered in my ear. Do you have everything, Anna? Sarah wrapped biscuits in a towel. Give these to Sam. Papa looked over Sarah's shoulder. Some, she said. Not all. Sarah smiled. Papa never gets enough biscuits, said Anna. Anna tied up some letters with the long ribbon. Min, our orange cat, leaped up, trying to catch the ends. Her mother's seal slept in a basket by the fire, opening her eyes every so often to check on all of us. Justin's letters? Asked Sarah. Anna nodded. I read them over and over, she said softly. Sometimes I feel like he's standing next to me. Everyone was quiet. I used to tease Anna about her boyfriend Justin, and I called him just in time, but not anymore. Justin had gone to Europe to fight in the war, and no one teased Anna now. I think she worked for Dr. Sam because Justin was his son. It made her feel closer to Justin. Letters, said Papa, his voice low. You were the masters of letter writing. You and Sarah, said Anna. What does that mean? Asked Cassie. It means that they wrote letters to each other before they loved each other, said Anna. I never got to write letters, complained Cassie. Papa smiled at her. No, you came much later. You came during an early snowstorm, I told Cassie. With wind and snow and cold, I remember. We all remember, said Anna, laughing. Did I come with letters? Asked Cassie. No, said Anna, but you can write letters to me in town. I will, said Cassie, excited. I'll write you 100 plus 7 letters. Here, Caleb, said Anna. She handed me some books. What's this? I asked. My journals, said Anna. And new ones. It's your job now. Mine? I'm not a writer like you, Anna, I said. You'll figure it out, Caleb. 1 page at a time. I can't. Everyone's not a writer, Caleb, said Anna. But everyone can write. Sarah looked out the kitchen window. What is it, Sarah? Asked Papa. I thought I saw something. Someone, maybe. Over there. Papa looked out, too. I don't see anyone, but I do see the beginnings of snow, and the wind's picking up. Let's go. Snow, said Cassie, and wind. Will someone be born? Sarah and Papa laughed. Not here, said Sarah. Not tonight. We picked up Anna's suitcase and packages and went out the door. She saw a man, whispered Cassie. Come on, Cass, there's no man, I said. I took Cassie's hand, and we went out where snow was coming down. Sarah looked worried. Anna, I want you to be careful. There's so much sickness. I know you worry about the influenza, said Anna. So many are sick, said Sarah, putting her arm around Anna. So many have died, and you see the worst of it. I love working with Sam, said Anna. You told me once that it was important to do what I love. I said that, did I? Said Anna. You did. You did, said Cassie, making Sarah laugh. The snow was falling harder now, so that we couldn't see the clouds anymore. It's so early, said Sarah, pulling her shawl around her shoulders. It shouldn't be snowing yet. There are no rules for winter, Sarah, teased Papa. This is the prairie, remember? Sometimes winter comes early, and if the snow's heavy, it'll stay in town with Jess. Sarah kissed Papa and Anna, and they climbed up in the wagon. Papa flicked the reins over Bess's back, and the wagon began to move off. Snow began to cover the ground. Anna, I called suddenly. Anna turned. I ran after the wagon. I'll write about winter, I shouted. Anna waved. I stood watching Papa's wagon wheels leave small tracks on the wet road. All around me was the soft, surprising sound of snow falling. In the quiet, the prairie seemed larger than ever. Journal entry. I'll write about winter, and if I'm lucky, maybe something else will happen.